Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So, Marko, you are a general manager and executive director at Raiffeisen Processing Centre. And as far as I know, beyond these activities, you also pass down your knowledge as a university professor, and I hope I will tell it correctly, at the Union Nikola Tesla University at Belgrade. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. And you are also author of 4 books.
Yes.
Can you name the favorite one, please?
Well, it's electronic banking, then project management, then project management case studies, and pure banking. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
And as you say, during the time when you have been working for the dark side, as Marko calls his time at banks, you also used to be a referee for the football.
Yes.
Is that correct?
I was refereeing football for 16 years in Serbia.
Wow.
I was refereeing first league for 4 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And also banking, and the consequences are obvious. Yeah.
And you also have 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I think you all
it's grey beard because of the kids.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's come to the topic of today's discussions, which is transformation. And we are eager to hear about your experience. So please tell us more about RPC and its transformation goals.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be here. Teší ma, že som tu pred vami a veľmi som rád, že tu môžeme porozprávať o tejto téme. Ďalší krát to bude všetko po slovensky. Áno. Dobre. Ďakujem. So, thanks for the invitation, thanks for the introduction, Janka. RPC is Raiffeisen Processing Centre, so we are shared service center of Raiffeisen Bank International. We will process this year more than 2 billion transactions. We are a 250 people strong team, which is one of the most important, I would say, facts. We are having more than 150 POS terminals managed and almost 8 million cards. So quite size, quite intensive job. You can imagine 2 billion transactions. What is the number of transactions? So whenever you blink, in terms of service performance, someone cannot pay on the POS terminal. And as we are living in the real world, we sometimes also need to blink a couple of times. When it comes to the transformation, I will not tell you what we did in RPC. I will tell you what we are doing in RPC. For us, transformation is quite, I would say, continuous thing. We started years ago to change and transform, and this process is still ongoing. Yeah. And I will start with question, how we came up to start with transformation. I would say that all starts from here, and the question is, very simple one. I tend to, and people who work with me, they know that I'm a very simple guy, to the most extent. Yeah. Question is, what I can do to get or to be better. This is the basic question. And just one step back, the most important thing is that I want to ask this question. So we should ask ourselves what we can do in service performance, in our everyday job, in whatever we do, what I should do to get better. And then when I ask this question, then other questions are coming. As you see, I like to ask questions. Yeah? Professional deformation. Then you are asking, if I want to be better, then the next question is, or let's say, what I want to achieve. Then what I want to achieve, then you're asking yourself, how I can achieve it. Then what I need to use, and then going down and down, you are getting to concrete things, how to do it. One example from RPC. Years ago, we had, of course, incident management process, as you can imagine, because of this blinking. It is particularly important for us. And we said, let's see how we can. So first one was decision to ask ourselves what we can do to get incident management process better. That was the first one. Then we checked incident management process. From the moment when incident is registered, there were 23 transitions in back then incident management software. 23 transitions. So you can imagine, it was nightmare for the customer, it was nightmare for the internal people to simply to get through until it's done. Yeah. So then we asked ourselves question what we want to achieve. Yeah, we said, well, 10 transitions should be fine. Then we asked ourselves how we can achieve it, and so on and so forth. It took a couple of months, maybe a bit more, but in the end we came to incident management process with absolutely changed customer experience and with only 7 transitions. Of course, the next question would be, as you can imagine, can we do it better? And I'm quite sure that we can.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I understand correctly, from what you said, the goal of this transformation was to boost service performance and internal performance and service quality. Is that correct? That looks like a very wide and long-run journey.
It
so
is.
How did you approach, and where the areas you focused on?
Yeah, so you can ask those questions everywhere. Yeah, it is performance, it is customer orientation, it is internal, how I'm doing things at my desk every day. How we did it, of course, we need to put some structure in it. Yeah, when we made decision, and I will keep this only for 2 seconds, and then I jumped. We did it, and I will click this. We did it in several structured layers. So first one was tackling the mindset. Then second one was identifying values of the transformation versus values of our company. Then we discussed about which principles we want to employ. Then we discussed about which practices should be there and how, in the end, physically how to do it, which tools. Of course, the first and most important step is the mindset step, meaning we want to do it.
Okay, so you mentioned those 5 layers. The first one is mindset. And which one do you consider as the most challenging?
It is mindset.
It is mindset. Can you give us some example?
Yeah, so let's take a very practical one and very plastic one. Service performance and monitoring, for example. Yeah. So years ago, when I was joining RPC still then was a great company, of course. Now it's even better and will be better in the future. We had challenge which was identifying service outages and tackling them properly. Yeah, skilled people sometimes are too skilled, I would say. So I'm coming every day to my work. I know my agenda. And I feel comfortable, and this is very important. Yeah. So if I feel comfortable and I know that I'm doing my job perfectly, and I'm not challenging that at all. Yeah. But the question is, can I do it differently? Can I be better? Answer is always yes. Yeah. So we had issues back then in identifying incidents, communicating incidents, informing customers about qualified information for the customers, and it was tens of minutes. Yeah, sometimes it was happening even that incident is done, and only after 20 minutes we are telling them it is done, but they know already. And it was obvious challenge. Yeah, so we asked ourselves question: can we get better in this one? And yes, we could. Then we set some goals. What we want to achieve. Back then, goal was let's go for 20 minutes. So 20 minutes after incident occurs, we need to send qualified information to the customers. 20 minutes in processing, and some guys here who are sitting from RPC, they know that for me 2 minutes is already disaster. 20 minutes is universe is gone already. Yeah? Then we said we did it in 20 minutes. We changed processes, we changed way of work, we changed tools, we changed many triggers, many topics, set sensors here and there. Then from 20 minutes, again we ask ourselves question: can we do it better? The answer was again yes. Then we went out to 15 minutes. Then next time, in next way, we did it for 12 minutes. Then next way, we did it in 9 minutes. And even head of operations is here, and I will again ask him, can you do it better, And the answer is yes, we can do it better. We can do it better. Now we have, Shimon was speaking about technology. Technology is extremely important. So we introduced also, we are having a chatbot for service desk. We are having new Zabbix features. So Zabbix is calling you and telling you, actually reading in robotic voice, host-to-host connection is down, please check it, So, of course, reading the text, which is predefined. But all of this is exploited. But technology is fine. Technology is there. You will always find experts, and knowledge about technology is going crazy and it's going wide. But the most important thing is that you are deciding that you want to change. You need to decide to ask the question, what I can do to be better in this respect. Yeah?
So I understand the whole transformation consists of several smaller initiatives, let's call it like that. And how many are running now? Do you know that from your head?
Well, we have a 20 plus, and we are having a continuous transformation program.
Yeah.
And we are defining scope every quarter, also defining scope, prioritizing. Of course, some things are more important, some things are less important, some things are kicking in, some things are kicking out. But this variability of the scope is actually coming from the basic question. What I need to do to get better, to have better service, to have better. We are now close to 100%, well, almost close to 100% of the service availability. And the question is how we can get at 100 and stay there. This is another challenge. And there is, I can work next 25 years till retirement, and you know, still there will be space to get better.
Yes, there is always space to improve.
Of course,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Okay, coming back to the title of your presentation, it was inspired by Star Wars. We discussed it previously because today we are at the cinema, so we tried to find out, and it was your idea to call it Transformation Strikes Back. Which means we can imagine that there are many benefits and positive, but also tough situations you experienced. Are there any lessons learned you could share with us?
Well, of course. So I'm a vivid fan of Star Wars, and when you look all Star Wars sequels, yeah, now 11, I believe, and all variations of Star Wars, it's all about change. I'm also a fan of Empire more than the Rebels, but this is also fine. Yeah, I'm not that evil person, that much. Yeah. Empire is also coming back, and why is coming back? Because it's changing all the time. Yeah? Rebels are also striking back because they are changing all the time. When it comes to the situations of, I would say that one of the most important and most challenging thing is actually the mindset. Yeah? If I'm the person who likes, and I do like stability, I run here and there, but I also like, I like to rest. Yeah? We are somewhere deep in our essence, we are also lazy. Yeah? And not saying it's a bad thing. People should be also lazy to get rest, to enjoy life and everything. But then you need to decide what is the level of ambition. And the level of ambition is defined by the question, do I want to change and do I want to get better? You know, it's not easy, of course. It's not easy that you are. My parents in 1990, first computer came into their office, yeah. And then I was asking, of course, my father, computer, no. He was constructing, he's a mechanical engineer, constructing machines, and he was having huge piece of paper and huge machine with this, you know, which is going and drawing it by hand. And he said, computers, never. Now when I'm reminding him, computers, never, he said, I'm retired for 20 years, I don't care anymore. So for me, again, yeah, this answer is the same. He's still there. The most challenging is mindset. Yeah? When it comes to challenge how you are selling the transformation, this was maybe one of the also important things to know, is in transformation, in telling it transparently and very openly to the people where we failed, what we did good, what is the success. You cannot overdo it. So over communicate successes, failures, you know, where you have challenges. This is also ensuring that people are having trust in you. This is very important. And when you look at the mindset, when you look at the mind, so mind is that how we act, how we react, how we think normally. This is what mindset is. And based on what mindset is, what is the base for these actions or reactions or thinking? I will answer, yeah. I also hated, you know, professors at university where people are sitting and then they're, okay, colleague, you tell me. It's experience. base our actions, reactions, thinking based on the previous experience. If there are no change, or if change is failure all the time, or if I see that I feel super uncomfortable, that people are going there, they decided something and it's absolutely intransparent, then why should I change, you know? And the best way how to show people and how to change mindset is actually to change their experience. Because if I can show you that you can do your better much easier, you will have more time for trainings, you will, I don't know, chatbot, cloud, and all technologies which are coming. If I can show you that they can help you in your everyday work, if we can show that we can be better if what we do, then we will change experience, and experience will change the mindset. This is the most challenging part, yeah.
Okay, your customers are the B2B clients, the banks.
Yes.
Is that correct? Did you experience some success or some nice words from them as well? Because you are talking about RPC inside, and were there any appraisals from the banks towards your
We are actually doing it for the customers. Yeah. So all what we do, we try to be more efficient, we try to be more customer obsessed, customer centric. Incident management process, which I mentioned, it was hugely praised by the banks. Yeah, that it improved now. Then service levels. Then when we are speaking about monitoring of the service, yeah, looks simple, but actually consequence of monitoring of the service is reducing time to react, reduction, reducing time to solve, reducing outage, and outage increasing customer experience. Yeah, so all is connected, and of course we are doing it for the customer.
How long is the transformation running now?
Transformation is running now for 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
And did you experience any side effects and side benefits out of it? Because you mentioned you had some goals to increase the service quality and improve the performance. Were there any other benefits which you didn't plan and didn't see before?
Well, other benefits, of course, are coming from the people themselves. We also having initiatives where people are started to think and to ask themselves question what I can do better. And now you are having perpetuum mobile of ideas, where people are coming with new ideas, small or big ones, but still they are coming with ideas. Yeah, small ones. It can be, I need a better chair. If you don't ask, nothing will happen. You know. My theory is that when employee speak with himself, asking questions and then responding, he's already lost. This fostering culture of asking and speaking out loud, good or bad things, they're both good. Yeah. If I'm asking myself, can I get better salary, and then answering, no, definitely no. I'm already, you know, halfway gone.
How did you empower this culture? Because it's about culture that people can speak and the employees can speak about their wishes and concerns. How did you empower it, achieve it?
Communicating and over-communicating. Over-communicating, yeah. Speak up. People should be free to come to your office and to tell you whatever they want.
To you personally?
To me personally, of course, to me personally. No, I'm not fan of course, we agreed questions. I also improvising here a bit, but I'm not fan of pre-prepared questions. And then some people from communication are asking, but people should send questions, then we should prepare, and then you will answer. And then I'm saying, but you don't need me. If I'm getting questions, and then some of corporate communication is sending answer, then you don't need me at all. And engage in very free and open mind, for me is the most important thing. Tough questions, of course, I was soccer referee. It can, no toughness. I'm also having a whistle and in my office. Just kidding, yeah.
Okay, I was wondering why. Okay, maybe from your time as a football referee.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for the information and the situation at RPC you shared with us. And now I would like to ask for the questions from our audience, if we have any.
I hope someone is still there, because I don't see it from the light.
They are over there, but not here, as we should see them. So I'll try to read it. How did you ensure minimal impact or disruption to day-to-day operations during the transformation? So this is quite a tricky question, maybe also important for other audience here, because it happens very frequently that if you start transformation, then somehow the day-to-day operations can struggle. So
yeah, so it's about proper planning and prioritization. This is all about. Yeah, so also connected to the second question regarding the momentum, we are having annual budgets which are quarterly adjusted, and in these budgets, when it comes to the projects roadmap and initiatives roadmap, there has to be reserved time for the transformation activities. So it has to be dedication from the top that we are going to invest some time to change. In some cases, of course, with the momentum, then connecting second question, in some cases also we are putting transformation aside because they are customer-oriented projects to be implemented. Yeah? And then momentum is going down, but then we are over-communicating and refreshing the thing. There is clear governance, there is clear communication on a regular basis towards all important stakeholders, towards all people, what we are doing and what we are achieving. And this is the momentum, and this is the addressing disruption day to day. We opted also to the small deliveries. I would say agile or in some cases waterfall done in agile way. And this way we are ensuring continuous delivery. Not necessarily need to be code, but we are having our pipeline, which is also physical one. Yeah, achieving small successes.
Okay, what should we imagine under waterfall doing agile way?
Yeah, well, waterfall delivered in small chunks. It's also agile, yeah.
Okay. It's the point of view. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting one. So maybe we have another question. Can you measure the change of mindset culture?
Only, I would say, partially qualitatively. You can feel it, that people are not saying no immediately. I was also no person. When I started developing started my career, I was a mainframe developer. Yeah? So I was also no person, as all developers. Yeah, it should be like this. Whenever you ask something, no, and then let's think about it. But then you see that this guy here, he did something, and it's getting better. We see these ideas. There is also continuous idea portal initiative in RPC, where you see that people are coming with ideas, as said, from very small ones to very big ones. And you can also feel it in the organization. People are not, they are empowered and encouraged to speak up about ideas.
Yeah, but it didn't, obviously didn't change from day one to day
zero.
No,
of course. Yeah, we are still changing. Yeah, we are still changing.
And do you see any differences between the people, how they change their minds and change their attitude?
I do. I hope they do not pretend. But yeah, that is a joke. Definitely there is a change. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. We have a next question. How did you ensure create a safety which is enabler for open discussions? Can you go deeper with the answer than usual top managers, everything is perfect?
Yeah, of course. So the answer is simple. Yeah. Nothing bad happened to anyone who spoke up, at least directly with me or with anyone else. Also, it is important how you are reacting to question, how you are accepting question, how you are addressing question. There are no tough questions. It cannot be especially for the management. Yeah, there is no everything is perfect. If everything is perfect, then you will miss question, and question is what I can do to do better. Yeah. In that case, nothing. Everything is perfect. It is also coming from the nature of I'm that kind of guy. I'm a bit pain in the. I'm a bit of pain. Yeah. I like to ask questions. I had a lot of different experiences. Yeah, in my life. I believe that I'm also toughness in a region from where I came during the 90s, and also ongoing, maybe in general, better person. Yeah, and then being curious, being childish. This is extremely important. Yeah, going deeper. Of course, I never said everything is perfect. This is people should be. I heard a quote. Sometimes people should be happy on their workplace, but they should never be absolutely satisfied with what they do. And this small dissatisfaction is pushing you forward. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have still some time, but very less. But I will still take the last question because I think it's really interesting. Can you tell us also an example of something that fails?
Yeah, well, many things failed. Yeah, many things failed, which is also normal. Something which failed significantly. Yeah, for example, we had also customer-oriented processes are business analysis processes, which I asked question back then. Yeah, can we do it faster? Yeah, and initially that failed. Yeah, that failed because simply maybe there was not enough focus. We did not manage an initial step to make significant progress towards the banks. Yeah, but also then again we asked question: can we do it better? No, obviously, but then the question was why we cannot do it better. And then again ask 5 million questions with really concrete answers. We also succeeded to very much extent in this respect, but I cannot now single out one initiative which failed, but many of them fails. Really many of them fails, which is part of what we do. Yeah. In case that all systems would work perfectly, in case that all processes are working perfectly, we are not needed. Yeah, my professor from university he was teaching organization, and said each and every organization is absolutely perfect without people. Yeah, so.
Okay, Marko, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Now the time is over. It was really interesting to speak to you, and I hope our audience enjoyed it. And now we'll move to another topic. So thank you very much.
May the transformation be with you. Thank you.
Thank you.